Hello, hello. Sorry, they kind of didn't check with me to start, and I didn't even have my headset on, bro. But I'm Meta Shift. Welcome. We have Plat week 2 stream, and it's a banger. We got two of the best teams, or we think, because they both won week 1, right? We have Forge Esports Vanguard versus BucketJons Harem, and yes, of course, I have the sides wrong because again, I was not ready. They started without me, but let's switch that around. It's gonna be Forge Esports Vanguard on blue side, BucketJons Harem on red side. Notable picks or champions that I remember when looking at the screenshots was Leche's Syndra and Vladimir, and also just their team comps running like an Ashe Seraphine Nocturne or something of the sorts with Ornn and like triple tanks with Syndra and Sivir or something of the sort, right? That was BucketJon Harem's comps. So the Ashe is stolen away here. The Seraphine is going to be taken in response. These bans, Vayne, Nard, and J4, I don't remember BucketJons playing those, but they're probably like one-trick bans, you know? And then for the other side, for Forge Esports Vanguard, they hard won game 1 with their ADC popping off on Misfortune, which, looking at the players in this game, I don't even think that's the same ADC. It might have been a sub. In game 2, it was Forge Esports Vanguard Clown, FEV Clown, popping off on Nefiri. So I maybe expect to see like Misfortune, Nefiri, Syndra. Mordekaiser's always a broken champion, but I think the patch got reverted. The buffs got reverted, so we might not see Mordekaiser tonight. I don't think either of these teams really cared about Mord either. BucketJons lost to it, and Forge Esports won against it. So neither of them were playing it. Nefiri also got nerfed apparently, so maybe these champions will not be picked. I don't know. But as we see the draft, it's only week 1. I don't know what people are playing. It was Ashe B1. Seraphine is stolen away from Forge, and they're gonna pair it with Vi jungle. I think a Taric response to Seraphine is weird. I think Taric in general is weird, but I did also remember in the review that there was a very, very solid Taric game, probably for Helium Bamboo. 28 assists, I think only died 3 times. Just like pretty powerful performance and probably a powerful pick if Helium is confident on it. A Kali blind pick for mid, countered with Mel. So far, both teams are kind of all over the place. I actually really like the 3-man of Ashe, Taric, Akali. Really not that bad. BucketJons has front to back with a Vi, so they could commit to front to back and then always have Vi R as an engage tool, which they're going to need. You can't just not have an engage tool. But Vi into Ashe, Taric, I don't know. Seems kind of rough right now. But I think BucketJons just commit to their front to back comp, and Vanguard commit to their dive. Probably where we're going with this. Nefiri and Shyvana are the bans against Clown, and some top lane bans against Rock. Rock has gotten 4 bans, maybe even 5 if you count the, or I'm sorry, 3 bans, maybe even 4 if you count the Vayne, but I don't think the Vayne was a top ban. So Ezreal is the pickup for ADC for BucketJons. I already talked about front to back. That's pretty good ADC for front to back. It's gonna be hard for it's literally all on Akali to get to Ezreal, and Taric can't keep up with that. So if Akali goes too far, the Taric E gets broken or the tether gets broken, and Akali can't utilize Taric to like maximum by diving so far for Ezreal. But what she could use is something like Shen. I like the Shen pickup. Also blind. Kind of weird that Forge is blinding so many champions. I feel like even Taric into Seraphine, if it was Seraphine APC, we're just blinding a lot of champs. And they're going to take the Nocturne with it. So I think they were in fear of BucketJons. Well, I mean, BucketJons already has Vi, so they're not really in any fear. I think this is just the part of the combo. Now they're thinking like, okay, we're committing to dive. We have Shen and Taric, and we can use both Shen and Taric on top of Akali and Nocturne, and then Ashe is just an R bot. The Ashe is kind of useless here, in terms of like an AD carry, but it's so powerful in terms of utility for the rest of the teammates. But Ashe is going to be alone in the backline, just doing whatever, which is actually pretty good against this DPS, or I'm sorry, against this front to back comp. And the last pickup for BucketJons Harem, again, committing to front to back, is going to be Ornn. Picking Ornn into Shen. But Ornn is super tanky, and there's not a lot of tank shred. So Ashe is just going to be perma-hitting Ornn, and Ashe needs to be really careful of Mel and Seraphine. They could just blow Ashe up at any moment. Taric also needs to be careful of that, because, I mean, that's a lot of magic damage coming Taric's way, and I think Mel Seraphine are pretty huge here. However, both comps are very good. Both these teams seem to know what they're doing. I like their coaches, whoever's drafting for them. Maybe it's not a coach, maybe it's a player, but the drafts are nice. I really like that Vanguard committed to the dive, and I love airing Shen on the Akali, and then even adding more to it by bringing a Nocturne pick in that does essentially what you were doing on Akali. Now, Taric and Shen have another option. They can go with Nocturne, or split one on the other, you know? And I think that all builds around the Ashe, right? Like, you're not playing Ashe for AD carry DPS here. You're really playing Ashe for your hawk shots and your arrows. But, you know, with the Ornn pickup, Ashe is going to have to DPS that Ornn, because no one else can kill the tanks, really, unless Shen's going to be hitting Ornn, but most likely Shen's diving backline. So, BucketJons know this. The only thing that's out of place is the blind Vi pick, but the Vi pick could be useful if they want to take out the Ashe later in a fight. I don't think they should ever start with engage on Ashe. That would leave all of their backline carries susceptible to the Nocturne Akali dive. That's sort of my interpretation of what's good and what's bad here. But for the most part, you know, BucketJons has a good front-to-back comp, and Vanguard has a strong dive comp, so it's really going to be like who plays it better. I just think the Vi pick could blunder, or could be bad here. I think it's Hook Tua. If Hook Tua doesn't play the Vi correctly, because you can't play standard Vi in this game, it could be bad news for BucketJons. So, also they didn't really use their R5. I mean, they picked a front to back tank top laner, but they picked Ornn into Shen, and I think Shen is on the better side of that matchup. Alright, I could talk all day and just keep saying the same shit, but I'm at a shift. This is Platinum, this is week 2, and I'm excited for this game 1. I haven't seen them start the the client side yet, but I'm just gonna cut to break, finish my dinner, and I'll be here all night. Whether it's 2 games or 3, I'll be ready to go. All right, hello. We are here. Game number 1. Welcome to the Platinum League of MSL. I am Metashift. We have Forge Esports Vanguard versus BucketJons Harem. I like what happened to BucketJons' logo here. It looks pretty good. He's just staring at us through the goggles. That's pretty disturbing. I mean, no, it's fine. It's good. We like that. All right. Usually I start off, because I'm a great caster, introducing the players, but not if there is an invade, and FPV Clown is invading somehow. I don't know. This just kind of gives away that Nocturne's starting bot side. And it looks like Hook Tua will match that, and also Path Up contest Top Scuttle together. For the side of Forge Esports, we do have T-Dye in the top lane, Clown in the jungle, Akira in the mid, Kagrin bot with Helium Bamboo as the support. On the other side, for BucketJons, we have Rock in the top lane, Hook Tua in the jungle, Leche in the mid, Raiden, Finoli, ADC, and Sephi support. Also good for me to attempt pronouncing these names before I try to do it while casting. But, yeah, if you missed my commentary on draft, I think both teams have a solid comps, and they have, like, a very clear identity. I think Helium Bamboo is very comfortable on the Taric, and we see, with that level 2 advantage, just going forward. Now Ash can walk Sephi all the way back, and with the lethal tempo, almost has enough damage for a kill. And Ezreal's going to trade back. Raiden doing a good job punishing Ash there for overstepping. Heal being burned by Helium Bamboo. But it was a good level 2. I think Kagrin just went a little too far. But nothing all too bad. I mean, the heal actually... I don't even know what the heal does here. I mean, I guess that's what the heal is for. Get that extra damage, trade it for the heal. Kira gets a big Akali combo there with the electrocute on Leche. This is Doran's Ring Akali into Mel. I feel like maybe D-Shield into this one, but we'll see. If they're able to get that solo kill, then it's definitely worth. It's just hard because Akali likes to play on that low HP and then get the kill, but Mel has the execute. Makes it really difficult for a lot of assassins to play into Mel early. Obviously later it's pretty free because most assassins don't get anything reflected. But right now, I mean, both junglers are getting to top side. It looks like Hook Tua got to the scuttle late, so Clown is going to end up getting it. Oh, and then Leche is going to eat everything there. And Akira gets the kill, and with Flash gets out alive. I think Leche maybe hold Flash a little too long, not flashing the Akali E. Gets tagged by the Shuriken, and that's just so much damage coming in when Akira presses the E2. That will be first blood going on to Akali, which is a big part of Forge's early identity. I think their comp late game is playing around Nocturne and Ash, but early game they just kind of have to play around the Akali. Or have Ash just run down Sephi, but once again, stepping a little too far forward. Kagrin's going to get abused for that. Raiden Finoli will get the second kill of the game. And there was no heal summoner spell available, and Kagrin didn't flash or barrier or do anything to survive there. Just kind of realized they stepped up too far, weren't going to get the kill on Sephi, and yeah, just accepted the fate there. I think maybe with flash and barrier, there's maybe a 1-for-1 and they kill the Seraphine. But is that worth it? I don't think that's worth it. I think... maybe if you're going to die anyway, it's worth it, but... Alright, so we're all tied up, but we have some farm advantages in the jungle for Forge and in the mid lane for BucketJons. Mel obviously is like one of the easiest champions to farm on because of that execute working on minions, which I don't know, I feel like maybe they should remove that. But you can see that even though Akali has the kill, they're actually even in gold in mid. T-Die doing a great job of not letting Rock crash that wave, keeping Ornn in a vulnerable position with both junglers pathing up. Right there, we do have smite for smite on the Raptors. I'm not sure who secured them. It looks like it was Clown who, even though smited first, was able to secure those Raptors. I think the jungle pet might have gotten him. That's a pretty big jungle CS lead. Shen has hit level 6. Oh, and Akira is immediately just going all in on Leche. And that's going to be a kill. Will they survive? Yes, they will. Again, a successful turret dive for Akira on the Akali. Didn't even need the Shen ult. Oh, DP misses, or Sephi misses a double E there, and Kagran's going to punish. And now here comes Clown and flashes and throws the Q, and will pick up the kill. I'm surprised that did enough damage. Now Raiden getting bullied by Ashe Taric. I don't think there's a dive option here on the Ezreal. He has Shift, he has Flash, has Barrier, and Hook Tua is hovering around. So that Ezreal is pretty big on HP. Now Rock in some trouble top, and this is just the nature of the matchup. Shen abusing Ornn early. Also, like, how clean was that combo from Akira? Just like, I don't know. Leche didn't even have a chance to react. That was so fast. I think Akira might play some Akali. That looked pretty muscle memory mechanical. I don't even think I could do that. I don't play Akali, but like, I don't think I could do that. If I played Akali, I could. Maybe. T-Die is going to get a pretty big trade here on Rock. Rock playing with fire, staying in this lane now. Probably has to accept that. It's recall time. Go back home. Heal up. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Rock's going to stay. Doesn't want to drop the wave. I think Clown could have dove with... Like, that's a dead Ornn on my screen. If not, Nocturne's here on top scuttle, not ulting this Ornn. I know it's not like, yeah, I don't know. It's not like super important to kill Ornn there, but like, why not? Rock overstays. You gave him all that XP and even gave him the CS. Like, that guy should never be allowed to do that. He made a big mistake staying in lane, and Nocturne being topside with Shen still being nearly full health. That was a free kill. They will get the grubs though on Rock's recall. And Hook Tua showing up a little too late. Not going to be able to contest that. And 3 camps are up for Nocturne. 3 camps are up for Vi. And Vi is pretty far behind in the jungle CS. So it looks like BucketJons are going to try to invade in order to fix that. Here comes the Vi ultimate into the Ornn ultimate. Call the Forge God will miss because the Paranoia flies out of it. But Leche will be able to finish off that Nocturne. And he's going to root Akira. This 2-0 Akali is in some trouble. Will able to get the kill on Vi. Meanwhile, in bot lane, Raiden and Sephi, a 2-man encore, might be able to find some kills. But going forward, Leche now picks up another kill. Once this last one on T-Die. Oh, and T-Die is going to flash. And will not give that triple kill to Leche. But Leche got the shutdown on Akira. It's 2 kills as an O and 2 Mel, now 2 and 3. Very, very good stuff for Leche, who has seemingly been BucketJons carry. It was BucketJons carry in week 1. But meanwhile in bot, I mean, it's kind of hard to cast both fights at the same time. Definitely a bloodbath, I agree. The 2-man encore was nice, but I think Raiden just eased forward, and Ashe Taric are able to just abuse. I mean, they have so much more DPS, so if the initial burst from Ezreal Seraphine doesn't kill, then that DPS return fire is going to be too much for Ezreal to handle, and that's exactly what happened. I think they pick up the kill on Raiden. So a sort of winning fight for BucketJons top side, and then a losing fight bot side. Means that Forge Esports remain in the lead, and if I'm them, I'm feeling pretty good. In draft, I talked about how one champion just doesn't fit, and that's the Vi. I think it's very hard for Vi to play here. We even saw Vi goes in on Nocturne, and Nocturne just flies right out, and the Vi ult was almost useless. I think later on that Vi ult needs to be used on a Kali, and it cannot be used or wasted on Nocturne. Maybe Ashe if she's the one who ends up being the Fed carry. Leche feeling strong now. Finish Ludens before Akali finishes their first item. They're going to do the Dragon. That's their first Dragon of the game, going over to BucketJons. But here comes Akali Nocturne, diving Leche, putting that mill down, and they're going for more. Sephi's in some trouble, will go down next, and Hook to it as well. It is a 3-for-0 fight after the Dragon. So much gold picked up by Forge Esports. They lost the Dragon, but who cares? It does not matter. The cost of that Dragon was way too expensive, way too much for BucketJons. And that's where the front-to-back comp, I mean, it's so hard to play without your Ornn when your only other melee frontline champ is a Vi. I just don't see, like, Hook to it wasn't really able to peel Mel there. I also think Nocturne ult just threw a wrench in their plans. You can't see. They don't know that Leche's dying off to the side. So even with red side draft, I still think that Forge Esports have sort of the counter comp. The counter pick comp. Their comp's just slightly better. So now Forge has a definite lead in this game, with their comp revolving around Nocturne Akali, and Akali Nocturne having 6 of those 9 kills. I would be feeling pretty confident. And Akira doesn't really care too much about that CS differential. Mel having 20 extra CS doesn't really matter. Oh, a nice play from Sephi and Raiden, but the two-man encore is going to be responded with the Taric ultimate. And here comes Nocturne, and no shift from Ezreal. It's going to be a free kill. That Nocturne came from really far away. I'm surprised he could reach. And once again, Ezreal Seraphine did not have the burst to kill Ashe there. And then they just find themselves too far forward, and I mean, I really feel like Helium Bamboo is just able to punish. And the Taric gameplay has been really solid. It looks very good. That might be drawing some bans in the future. What did I want to look at? I wanted to look at something. Oh, Cosmic Radiance? Yeah, I didn't know what it was called. First turret as well secured, and a gank mid from Hook Tua. That's going to be the Vi ultimate. Leche trying to pick up the kill. Doesn't have the damage. Helium Bamboo flashing in to save Akira. A Shen ult as well on Akira. It makes it that this Akali is, like, never punished, right? Even if that was a bad play by Akira to go back in on Hook to it. You are not punished because your Taric is there and you have Shen ults. And both were used. And Akira goes in, gets a kill, and gets out. And now at this point, I just feel like almost every fight should be winning for Forge Esports. So what is the plan if you are BucketJons? Because an Ezreal and Mel who are behind with a Vi that just doesn't really do much against their comp. I mean, their only response is to give the next 3 dragons and scale. And they can scale. I mean, Seraphine scales very well. Ornn is a champion that they have on their team. I think Raiden should be side laning alone right now. I think Ezreal should just be farming at a distance, because right now, if Forge gank bot lane, Seraphine's dead, no matter what. There's no way Seraphine survives. But Ezreal could live, if played correctly. You can't get hit by the Ash Arrow. And you have to probably break the Nocturne tether with Flash. But no turret bot. Sephi and Raiden are just waiting to die. And I don't know why BucketJons are kind of letting that happen. But Akira maybe taking a bad fight here. Oh, Raiden's going to dash in because Bamboo took a recall. We have a 2v2 mid that is not favorable for BucketJons. Akira going for the double. And it's actually going to go to Clown, who ends up under tower. Will flash out. But that's 5 kills on both Akira and Clown. Absolutely amazing. Stellar gameplay from the Nocturne Akali. And Raiden was not able to find that kill onto Kagran, but now they're going to get collapsed on. And this is the first dragon of many that are going to be stacked by Forge Esports. There's the Enchanted Crystal Arrow on the Seraphine. Seraphine trying to run back to a turret that doesn't exist. Sephi's going to go down, and now Raiden's going to get stunned up. TP in from Leche is just maybe offering another kill. Raiden to flash out, but now just gives entrance for Clown onto Leche, who is now feared. And, yep, like I said, Leche just TPs into their demise. Absolutely snowball. It's bad. It's bad. This game is out of control. And I think a lot of the mistakes there were just, why is Ezreal, Seraphine still sitting in bot lane by themselves? Also, Shen is just so useful versus Ornn, because Ornn needs to sit top and get those levels and get to Ornn items, and Ornn really shouldn't be, like, teleporting out of lane. And if they do, to match Shen just TPs back to top. So... But, yeah, so, like, I mean, the counter is just too much. Here comes Nocturne Taric, a good use of the Taric stun with the Nocturne ult. Once again, it's Sephi, just... Seraphine cannot do anything against that, right? It's pretty unplayable for Sephi at this point. And they're a free kill every time. They really can't walk up. I think standing next to Ezreal is bad. Standing behind Ezreal out of vision is okay. Giving Ezreal the solo XP is going to be fine. Because if they engage on Ezreal instead of Seraphine, Seraphine can try to peel with the exhaust, with the ulti, the shields, the roots, you know. Seraphine actually has a pretty decent kit for taking off the spell shield as well. Can throw EQ before ulting. Yeah, so like I said, game is even more out of hand since last I said this, but BucketJons' only move is to let these dragons fall and play to scale. First action we'll see on top lane for punishing Rock for picking Ornn into Shen. Clown says, I'm really fed, I'm gonna come up here and kill you. And the full lethality Nocturne just one-shots this Ornn, who really only has MR at this moment. And that'll get the last outer turret for Forge. They're doing a good job, macro-wise, of, like, starting to put this game to rest. In response, though, they were able to take that mid-turret, but it's going to be Sephi who gets engaged on by the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, and Hook Tua is going to go onto the Ashe, but there's a Taric ult, Cosmic Radiance to counter, and just how useless is Vi here. Akira was also there, takes down Raiden off the side, and all 5 members show up. Oh my god, and they're not done yet. Effie Clown goes forward, ends up walking out. Maybe a little too much there. But 5-on-2 for the mid push. Helium Bamboo diving, tanking tower. They're trying to get a kill on Leche. Now it's Akira tanking tower. Okay, it might be a little troll from Forge. They're really forcing this poke and dive. And here comes Ezreal ult on Kagran from downtown. There we go. BucketJons starts to find some ways back into this game after a few misplays for the bot lane of Forge. But Forge is still up 6,000 gold, and there is nothing to play for on the map unless BucketJons says, let's send it on Baron right now. I don't think they can do that.
Now, I wanna reiterate and point out that it's not Hook 2's fault that the Vi is useless, right? It's not. I'm sure they could have played better, as can everyone in every game, but it's just the champion. It doesn't do what they need to do in this comp, and that's fine. They picked it as a blind pick jungle on 2. I'm sure there was a better jungle pick, but if it's comfort, it's comfort. It's just really unfortunate that the way Vi wants to play, going on Ashe, it's just gonna get responded with the Taric ult, and Hook 2 is just left to go, oh shit, and try to run out. Akira and Clown finding a flank engage onto Leche, who will just go down to the R2 from Akali and Storm Surge. Akira, once again, successful turret dive and survives those remaining turret shots. Oh, so this dragon... This dragon they're gonna have to hand over, of course, and they'll have to hand over the next one as well if the game is still going on. The problem for BucketJons and the play for Forge is the Baron. Forge needs to secure this Baron and take out all these tier 2s. At least take out 2 tier 2s and maybe pressure an inhib. Oh, Kagran with the enchanted arrow. Sephi is going to go down as well, but wait, we're Nocturne ulting onto Raiden Cannoli instead, and it's not the cleanest engage, but it works out anyway. Raiden goes down pretty low, but will survive. But they still get that pick on Sephi. The Seraphine very much unable to survive any of these engages at the current moment, and I think they're missing the point where they cannot be on screen. If they get vision of Seraphine, Seraphine dies. Oh, Cosmic Radiance coming out. Looks like Forge is going to take this. It's a 5-on-4 fight. Can BucketJons get anything here? Huge R2 ulti from Akira in the backline. Does a lot of damage. A Shen ult maybe wasted, not really needed, but Hook 2 goes down. And with that, no dragon to play for. Looks like they're just going to play for the bot turret. Summoning the Rift Herald. They already got tier 2 mid. And if I'm Forge Esports, at some point, yeah, we win every fight, but just take the reset. Go get that Baron. There's no reason to wait. There's no reason to let the enemy team scale. But they got these 2 tier 2 turrets without Baron. Because of BucketJons kind of throwing a Hail Mary there. I respect it. I respect the Hail Mary play. You gotta do something. You can't just slowly lose and bleed out, but... they actually weren't able to get anything. Not a single kill. There are some big shutdowns sitting on Nocturne and Akali. And even if you don't get them, if you get the little consolation prize shutdown from the Shen, that would be good too. I think it's okay for Forge to let the Baron sit, but there's really no reason for it. They should set up a vision line and play in the topside jungle of BucketJons. Even Seraphine here, if Seraphine got spotted, it's just dead. And it's going to be Ezreal instead, alone on mid wave, who's going to go down. With that pick, maybe that will trigger Forge Esports to start the Baron. But first, like I said, they got to get in here, take over the topside enemy jungle. And Rock is around. Kagran and Clown starting. Baron Nashor. And T-Die TPing in early, which is honestly a good thing and a change. But here, now it's a flip. It's a 50-50. Hook 2 goes in way too early. They're looking to get the smite steal. It's going to be going over to Forge Esports because Hook 2 went down and Rock will go next. HA and Sephi now on the run. Oh, looking for a kill on Helium Bamboo, but man, do they not do damage. BucketJons Harem is a little homeless as a team this game. I think that starting the Baron and sending it all the way down that low was a flip, and we should never be flipping Baron. But at the same time, BucketJons throws themselves into a fight, which is not really what you want. You kind of just want to let Hook 2 look for steal and everyone else run away. Oh, big arrow and a flash taunt from T-Die. Will be a pick on Leche. Cosmic Radiance, just in case. And Kagran is low in the back line, but I don't really think there's a play just yet. Oh, Ezreal ulti. Not gonna find Kagrin. And Baron secured. Forge Esports. There's like absolutely no reason to play for this dragon. I think they could just end the game. They really can just end the game. Yeah, I just want to reiterate that I think flipping Baron there is like just terrible. We do not need to do the Baron with Vi over the wall. We could just go kill Vi and then do Baron. Or leave it sitting at like 4K. But that's kind of bad too against like the sort of poke from Mel, Ezreal, Seraphine. So just in the future, definitely do not need to flip a Baron. And also for Forge Esports here, you have a full Baron buff to use. Like you just got Baron. You had almost half of your hand of Baron left, and you guys are gonna sit here for 30 seconds wasting time on the dragon. And I think that we could have just been pushing with Baron, and the dragon doesn't matter. Because, like, realistically, this game does not go to Soul. There is a good play. It's going to be a pick onto Sephi once again. And the Baron buff is going to fizzle away and fade away, and I think Forge Esports is just going to take their dragon. But we'll see. They still have Nocturne and Assault. Yeah, and BucketJons doing the right thing. I mean, there's nothing to play for, right? They're just giving this dragon. It does not matter. But my thought process is, why does this dragon... What does this dragon do, right? It's one Ocean Drake. You're regenning 2% of your missing health every 5 seconds. Okay, but it's not Soul. You didn't get Ocean Soul. You had... I think like a minute and a half of Baron buff to use to break open inhib. You could get an inhib and then just take dragon because you're on your reset timer, and then the game's kind of over because you got the inhib. But now the game's a little less over. You're up 10k, but there's no inhibs down. So without an inhib being down, I don't know. Maybe BucketJons could find their way back into the game. They're probably very unlikely going to do so. But I think the correct macro play is to use that Baron to its fullest, because we're realistically not playing the Dragon Soul this time around. We're just ending. We're up 29-5. Ornn items are coming through. We want to end the game. Nocturne and Akali go in. Seraphine hits a double encore into a double root from Mel. Mel gets a double shutdown. You know, that's a 3,000 gold swing and a blunder on the play. If something like that happened, then BucketJons maybe could turn this game around, because they're not missing any of their base just yet. Only a few outer turrets. But a huge paranoia with the Cosmic Radiance on top. The encore is big, but in the backline, Akira takes him down. A kill for T-Dye as well. Rock going to be that third one to fall. Leche is not even in the fight, just watching as his entire team goes down. And now trying to get a consolation pick on Helium, and he will not have the damage for it. Here comes a Nocturne ulti in again, and flashing on top of Leche. Clown will finally pick that up. And like I said, they're so far ahead, that dragon really did nothing. We just wanted me to wait extra 3 minutes for the game to end. Raiden in the 1v5, last man standing. It's gonna be Forge Esports in a very, very dominant fashion, taking game one here. They had a comp, they used it, and Akira and Clown just putting up insane stats. Start banning that Taric from Helium. That's what I'm thinking. Let's check out some post-game damage. Probably not Akali. I looked. It's gonna be Clown. 14-1-2 or 12. 14-1-12 on Nocturne. With an LDR in the kit. Yeah. 32,000 plus damage. You know, paired with Ashe, Shen, and Taric, you would hope that these carries would do their job. But the what is it? The cake on top, I don't even know what the saying is. There's a saying. The thing that made it even worse is that before Nocturne and Akali were playing with their Taric and Shen, they were already fed. They were already 2-1 and 3-1 or something, right? So because of that, I mean, once they get into the 5-on-5s and Shen can be there, Taric can be there, you have Ash arrows for setup, the game's really easy. So because of that snowball, I mean, we get to a position like this, and our score lines look like that. You know, like I feel like BucketJons needed to survive that early game in order to have any chance of winning this. And that's not exactly what happened. The cherry on top. There we go. Thank you, Spooks. Yeah, I come on, meta shift. Alrighty, guys, we'll be back very shortly with game number 2. Hello, hello. We are back. Game number 2 draft. BucketJons Harem are down 0-1 in this regular season match. It's week 2. BucketJons versus Forge Esports Vanguard. And we were talking about, or at least I was talking about, how Nefiri and Syndra were maybe contested or, you know, power picks or bans this series. So it's going to be BucketJons banning away Nefiri from FEV Clown, and they're going to lock in the Syndra B1. So we'll see, what does Akira have as a counter pick to Syndra? Sylas, who is a very similar champion to Akali, in my opinion. A lot of Akali players also play Sylas. Ooh, or Locke! Okay. I don't think I've seen Locke. I definitely haven't seen much Locke in the MSL games yet. So this will be exciting. I think Locke is broken. I think Locke is super strong. I think he's just a better Fizz, if anything. Like, he's actually just, like, a better Fizz. So, if you play Fizz, I mean, maybe you can agree with me or not. But, yeah. Compared with the Locke is going to be Dr. Mundo. Not too sure about Dr. Mundo pick. Syndra's not really a tank shredder, but she does have true damage. Mundo stacks a lot of HP. So it's not bad, but, I mean, it is whatever. It's just like a pick. I mean, Mundo doesn't do anything with Locke, right? There's not much synergy there, but maybe Mundo, you know, maybe Mundo ends up being good here. Lee Sin is the pick for Hook Tua. Interesting. Lee Sin jungle. I think about Lee Sin is, if he cannot take off Mundo's shield. So... Oh, but Lee Sin is a big counter to Locke, by the way. So, I'm not sure if that's why we're picking Lee Sin, because Lee Sin just beats Locke. But, Misfortune is going to be the ADC pick up for Raiden. I guess maybe to steal that away from Kagrin. I'm not sure. Again, I have to pull it up. Was it Kagrin who popped off on Misfortune? Check. Important to know. No, it was not. Was it BucketJons who popped? Oh, it was the team BucketJons played against. It was actually Little Otter Melon who popped off on MF. Yeah. Not too much worry of the MF pick, but they're just gonna pick it up. I guess they wanted the MF. Raiden wants the MF. Pick it up here. Xayah will be the ADC response pick. I'm not too loving the Xayah. Xayah's great into dive, but like, I mean, I guess it's pretty good into Lee Sin. Lee Sin cannot insect the Xayah very well, but Syndra MF aren't like, but they're good with dive champions. Yeah, I mean, Xayah Braum to just counter a dive support. I understand why. I don't hate it. It's not the best, but it's not bad. Maybe it is the best. Maybe Xayah is actually just such a big counter to Lee Sin that it actually makes it so good here. But I feel like there is a support pick that they could go with MF to just absolutely ruin Xayah Braum. They're gonna take the Gnar. Top lane, Rox Gnar was not banned. Leona Nautilus are out. Banning Leona Nautilus, but then picking Xayah Braum is like interesting. I think BucketJons would need to play like Lissandra or something here. Something super good. Just lockdown for Locke that's not a dive champion. Maybe there's a enchanter that would also be good. Maybe Lulu. Ooh, Thresh. Thresh is a very good lockdown champion that is non-committal. I like that a lot. Wasn't even thinking about Thresh. The Thrushy. Okay, and then Gnar counterpicked by Ambessa. That could be scary. He die on Ambessa. Or is it Ambessa jungle for Clown? and Mundo top. I do think that looking at like the Shen and Nocturne and Clown playing like Nefiri, that it's very possible that they actually just put Mundo into Gnar and they take the Ambessa jungle. But I don't know if Mundo does too hot into Gnar. So. I'll have to see where these champions go, but, you know, BucketJons got the Syndra locked on the B1. We'll see if that Syndra pick is as strong as it seems. I mean, I think Syndra's pretty broken right now. So, it's definitely Mundo jungle? Okay. So, yeah, I mean, putting Mundo into Gnar seems kind of poop. But once again, I think Vanguard has a slightly better draft, and BucketJons Harem, their draft's not unplayable, but if they're not the better players, then they're just going to lose. So, game 1, it looked like Forge Esports was the better players, the better team, and had a slightly better draft. And it's up to BucketJons to prove that that was just a bad game, and they got it here in game 2, and they're able to compete with the big dogs. We're in Platinum. We're in the lowest league that MSL offers, but it's the big dogs down here. I actually like all eyes on Lee Sin. I want to see what Lee Sin does this game. Definitely needs to punish Locke. And we'll see if Leche and Hook Tua can do that. But once again, we are not starting draft. Usually, like, when draft finishes, we would just start client draft. Both these teams are kind of just sitting here, not saying R, not starting the game. It's not a big deal. It's just, like, it's a little annoying for me, but I'll just cut to intermission, and I guess we're going to wait the full draft time plus 3 minutes. Could be like a 5-minute wait on the game. If you haven't checked it out, I did a little recap of week 1. I'll try to make it shorter next time. I don't know. I was talking and then I was like, wow, this is 8 minutes long. Oops. And that didn't include stats or anything. So if it's the same amount of length next time, but I have stats and other things to talk about, sure. The recap mainly was just for, I don't know, anyone who didn't pay attention to match history or whatever, or look at standings. Like, I got you covered. You can just listen to my sweet sounding voice. Like I said, I'll try to speed it up next time. It's easy now that I like kind of know what I want to say real quick. I just want to say these are the standings. This is what happened in that week. This is what's going to look like next week. Here are my little predictions, and then maybe talk about all the games. It's 3 matches to talk about. I could just pick and choose like maybe one game or just briefly touch on it. And then we can talk about stat leaders real quick. And I might keep doing the reviews if people like them. If you didn't check out the review, I know it's long. It's obviously going to be long. It is a review of an entire game, so it's a 30-minute plus video. But I talk about why TFF Banana lost game 2 against Los Perritos Diablos when I think they should have won it. They had a 9-0 Silas at one point. Get a client real quick. So yeah, we weren't lying. It is Mundo jungle and Syndra into Locke. And I don't think Locke is like super good into Syndra. If Locke dashes on Syndra, she can immediately throw him away. And I'm not sure if that auto after the dash will pull him back or hit or not. That interaction is a little interesting. Like, if Syndra's scattering while Locke is dashing at her, I feel like Syndra doesn't take the damage and Locke does get pushed back. So, could be a pretty good... Like, I think the cooldowns are relatively similar there, too. Locke, what's his dash? Is E? Locke E and Syndra E? Like, I think it's a skill matchup, for sure. But Locke does get to shove Syndra in and roam, and that's where Locke becomes a problem. So it's on Lee Sin to stop the Locke from roaming, and I mean, they have to be careful of leaving that Syndra alone and free scaling. Syndra's such a dirty champion right now. Got some buffs a couple patches ago. He's been pretty strong since. Ready, we're about to go on that 3-minute timer, guys. I'll see you on the Rift.
I'm sick of losing my mind on the weekend, falling down like puzzle pieces to the floor. I get anxiety, feel like I'm only half decent. Open my mouth and it freezes, can't find the word. It's alright when I'm with you, sit in silence in our room, kill the lights and close our eyes. You and me had it easy, made our way to New York City, missed our rent but paid our dues. We'll be somewhere better soon. Oh, oh. We'll be somewhere better soon. Somewhere better soon. Oh, oh. We'll be somewhere better soon. Somewhere better. I ain't afraid to dive into the deep end. Used to hide out in the beaches and skip stones, trying to escape it. Felt like it all was so vapid. Packed up my bags, had my graces, and left home. It's alright when I'm with you, sit in silence in our room, kill the lights and close our eyes. You and me had it easy, made our way to New York City, missed our rent but paid our dues. We'll be somewhere better soon. Somewhere better soon. Oh, oh. We'll be somewhere better soon. Somewhere better soon. Oh, oh. We'll be somewhere better soon. Somewhere better soon. Oh, oh. We'll be somewhere better soon. Somewhere better soon.
All right, hello. We are here, game number 2. BucketJons Harem now on blue side with that Syndra B1 versus Forge Esports Vanguard. Forge is up 1-0 in this best of 3. This could be the last game of this series. This regular season match if Forge Esports are able to get a win. BucketJons, after getting pretty much stomped in game 1, are looking to prove themselves as a top tier team. Was it a fluke or was it real? Is Forge Esports really good? Is BucketJons just a middle of the pack squad? Also, is this good news for Silver Song Mavericks, who, you know, I don't think they got beat as hard. Maybe they did. So as these games get played out more and more, we'll know who belongs where in my power rankings. And I'll put out a week 2 power ranking after DA Phoenix plays. I gotta see the DA team in action. Junglers are starting opposite sides, and means they'll be pathing opposite ways. In my review, I talk about where the junglers should be pathing and why. If I am Lee Sin here, I do want to play for all lanes, and I think pathing up is good because playing for early aggression on mid and top will really help the solo laners who both got counterpicked for BucketJons. Then, if I'm Lee Sin, I'm going to reverse my clear and start playing for my MF and Thresh. Now, for the Mundo, for Clown, I think pathing away from the action topside is fine. Your solo laners have counterpick. And oh my god, Akira goes a little too far forward, and LeiJay's gonna throw him right into turret. Who cares if Scatter the Weak can push Locke out of his dash? Let's let him dash and throw him into our tower. That's exactly what LeiJay did, and LeiJay used the flash to survive, and Hooktua gets the assist, coming in and giving the shield down as well to help on out. And that's gonna be an important kill, and exactly why Lee Sin should have pathed that way. You definitely wanted to be on Raptors for that level 3 all-in or play. And now Locke is down 0-1, down 5 CS, and has no summoner spells. It's going to be rough for Akira for a little bit, for the next 3 to 5 minutes. But yeah, I think Mundo pathing down is fine. I don't think Mundo really facilitates any plays with the early Ambessa or Locke, but instead Mundo could play around that Braum passive concussive blows and play with their root from the Xayah. But realistically, they want to path away from Lee Sin and just farm anyway. A hook lands, Sephi going in onto Helium Bamboo. Now Helium in some trouble, going to try to return fire, but misses the Q, meaning that the concussive blows will not be tagged on anyone. But now it's going to be Sephi eating maybe a stun, but no. They will not be able to get the stun on Sephi, and now Kagran might be putting this Thresh down. The hook will land, and Raiden's going to get that kill, and maybe another, might be a double kill for Misfortune. Bro on the run, one more auto. And what an absolute domination play from Sephi. The Thresh looking so good. What a great pick into Xayah Braum. That was close. That was a nail biter for sure. And BucketJons with a 3-0 lead. We might see the complete opposite of what we saw last game. We saw Forge Esports absolutely dominate and stop BucketJons, but it's looking like a different story thus far. But Shift needs to learn how to say cliches and phrases and not run out of vocabulary. I didn't finish high school. That's not true. Graduated college. But regardless, LeiJay getting engaged on by Akira, misses the Scatter of the Weak. Akira really doesn't do any damage, only has Doran's Ring and Boots. And LeiJay gonna be A-okay. Be chilling. Up to on the Raptors. Gonna be looking mid. Maybe if Akira goes in again. Oh, a nice Q from the Misfortune. Raiden already has the BF sword. Rock and T-Die both hitting level 6 up there in the top lane. Even in CS. Steffi lands the hook. Meanwhile, Hooktua, speaking of hook, Hooktua fighting Clown. And Clown is way, way far ahead in CS. Oh, no. I mean, it's kind of obvious because Hooktua kind of stopped farming. And that CS lead for the Mundo is going to be a little rough. He's just kind of free farming. But, you know, his team is losing handedly right now. So farming Mundo can only do so much if all 3 lanes are losing. Clown might be looking for a play topside on Rock with the Ambessa ulti public execution as well. It is. T-Die looking for a trade. Maybe thinking of pressing R, but Clown will get spotted on the ward and Rock will back up. Akira dashing on top of Leche, lands the 3 slows, will proc it. Leche was unable to escape that auto dash after even pushing Akira away. Ooh, Rock taking a pretty rough trade. Leche as well, looking a little rough in the mid lane. Both solo laners still under constant pressure for BucketJons, but at this point, it's probably time for Lee Sin, who's almost level 6, to just start playing for bot lane. Maybe one more look on solo lanes. The timer's starting to expire. There's really no reason not to play around the level 6 Misfortune. You just have Thresh overforce a play to bait out either the Xayah ult or Braum shield. And then Lee Sin comes in for the cleanup on whoever he could there, but here goes Akira a little too far forward. Meanwhile, in bot lane, Helium Bro will go down to a nice combo from Sephi, and Raiden with the bullet time on top. Kagrin low under turret. Gotta be careful here. Oh, doesn't dodge the hook. One more auto. Raiden will get the kill. I'm not sure what that was. It looked very much like not good, but Kagrin just gives the kill over to Raiden for the 4th kill. For this Misfortune, and now Thresh has the ability to hook this Mundo under turret, but might go down first. Oh, the hook misses, and Clown will flash away. Sephi flashes as well. Raiden will remain 4-0, and BucketJons are up 5-0. Meanwhile, the play mid was a bit of nothing. It looks like Akira flash again to survive. Look to it, maybe flashing in mid lane to help out with that play. So flash for flash, Lee Sin and Lock. The dust settles, and even though BucketJons is up 5-0, they went for the grubs. So Forge Esports will get the first dragon of the game. Leche looking for a stun on Akira. Akira will dash on out as Sephi and Hooktua are here. And that would have been a bad look if Akira wanted to trade there. Hooktua is not that far behind in CS. Kind of stable from where it was before. But he keeps cycling his camps in a really inefficient order to kind of stay around mid, which is fine if that's like the goal. Like if we really want to make sure Syndra can play up the whole time and not sacrifice or drop any CS. So once again, skipping Gromp, taking Raptors, and looking on mid. Akira dashing away. No vision But public execution being used on Rock. Rock flashing away, but it will be T-Dye getting the solo kill on Rock there in the top lane. Now Akira with the all-in, but Hook to it is here yet again. And the Lee Sin Q will land, but kill is going to be gifted over. Another Hook lands in bot lane as well. It is a fight everywhere. Fights everywhere, but nothing off the threshold. But Hook to a permanent hover on mid lane to make sure Leche pops off on the Syndra. Dropping Gromps and Krugs left and right just to sit around mid and punish Akira if Akira ever goes in. And that's exactly what happened. The Hook lands it again. Now ultis are available for Xayah and Braum. MF bullet time over the wall does so much damage with the full Bloodthirster. And Hook to is here as well. Hook onto the Mundo. Hook to is going to go down to the turret. But Raiden and Sephi are able to fight back against that Mundo. And Clown will have to run away. 5-0 on Misfortune. And a kill picked up for Lee Sin as well. Oh, Hook lands on the Mundo. Clown playing a dangerous game in front of that Thresh. Raiden flashing forward. One more auto will pick it up. 6 kills now for the Misfortune. And has a blue buff and a Bloodthirster. Does not even need a recall, but Helium Bamboo says, God, this is annoying. Why is that MF still here? Why are they overstaying? I'm flashing. I'm ulting. But it will go wide. It will miss. Raiden and Sephi will back and spend that gold. Once again, T-Dye all in. Public execution on Rock. Rock will go down. Ambessa 2-0. The one thing that 4G Esports has going for them, the one way to win this game, is if this Ambessa can carry. Ambessa Mundo. It's possible. But that 6-0 Misfortune is very scary. And Besta's really going to have to make sure they can save Flash and get on top of that MF in the next fight. In that first fight that Ambessa wants to take against Misfortune. So the next dragon is in 1 minute, and it should be BucketJons' dragon. You'd hate to see the 6-0 MF be down 2 drags to 0. You'd be like, why? Why are we down 2 dragons in bot lane? It makes no sense. Rock trying to play a little aggressive, knowing that the Ambessa does not have ulti here. Leche maybe looking for a stun. Not gonna find anything. But it's BucketJons Harem just setting up for this dragon, making sure they don't have, like I said, the Fed MF and no dragons. But Leche TPing away. It's definitely going to be immediately engaged on. Raiden waiting for a moment to open fire. Helium Bamboo immediately puts up that Braum shield in front of the MF ulti. Akira is going to be the first one here. But Hook Tua sets up a kill. It dies to the ignite from Sephi. But is a complete blunder of a play for BucketJons. But Leche might be able to help clean it up. Mid-end ADC for BucketJons now. Correcting those mistakes. I just don't think Syndra can walk all the way bot lane if they're going to have to catch a wave, and they cannot TP back like that. But all is well. Raiden will pick up another kill. Nope, it's Leche picking up that kill. And BucketJons will make up for their mistakes. Oh, that TP was gnarly. Was gnarly. Raiden on a ward, trying to look for Kagran here, but doesn't realize he's on a ward. But Sephi gonna do a great job here with Raiden to clear out all that vision, and they're gonna get this dragon probably uncontested, as Clown is topside, extending that CS lead up 30 CS on Lee Sin. Mundo's up 600 gold. and has the Heartsteel already completed with a few stacks, as well as full Swifty Boots and a Warden's Mail. This Mundo is going to get strong. But right now, the MF and Syndra are too strong for that Mundo to handle. And if BucketJons throws shutdowns, throws their lead to a point where they can no longer kill Mundo, that's when the game gets very, very hard. And that is Forge Esports' way back into it. Need to find a way to shut down Syndra and MF. They might need to use the Ambessa for that. And eventually a Mundo become unkillable. The Thresh pick is so good. I mean, you're always taking Mundo's shield off with just Flay or a hook. And Thresh can also help set up Lee Sin combos. So first tower bot was secured by Raiden and Sephi, and now they are looking to take down mid as well. The low turret, so it should be pretty easy, but Akira threatening a little bit. Looks like Raiden will finally step up and take it. Helium Bamboo, not going to pull the trigger there. And now 2 turrets are down, and MF Thresh are going to look for the last one, or the Rift Herald. And T9 needs to be careful here, because if BucketJons really want to... Oh no. Leche needs to be careful here, because he just walked into 4 members of the enemy team, granting them that first shutdown. And that will be granted over to Akira. Now 3 kills on the lock. The 0-2 lock is now 3 kills. What happened? Saw what Akira was able to do on Akali. This could be scary for BucketJons. Did he forget to pick up the thing? He did get the thing. Stacks on the ulti. Got 2! Sealed 2 champions thus far. I was going to say that it's very scary for T-Dye to be up here, but Raiden and Sephi did not go for the dive with Hook to it. I think they could have just killed Ambessa as a response. Also, the misplay here was Leche needed to just recall, because the Syndra does not want to be bot lane alone while the rest of the team is top. I think Rock and Syndra should have flipped there. Or Syndra just walks mid, which is kind of what Leche is doing. But Leche, once again, where are we going? We are walking up into the enemy jungle here, and we might survive from Lee Sin's shield. You are so lucky, and you do not deserve to live there, but oh my god, bailed out by Hook Tua. But how can we think it is okay to walk up like that? Oh my god. Leche, you gotta be careful. This is how we got fed on Syndra last time, though, maybe. I don't know. Rock with a big play there. 0-2 Gnar, almost solo killing the 2-0 Ambessa. Meanwhile, engage on Sephi. Hook will miss. That will be the end. Last outer turret secured. And all good stuff for BucketJons. It's starting to make me confident that we might actually go to a game 3. Not quite the dominant performance of Forge last game, but Herald will take down mid tower. A big bullet time. Braum Shield doing a lot to stop that damage, but they will get the kill. Akira looking for a reset, trying to get a kill. Hook Tua riding in the Herald, getting the kill on Kagrin, maybe. Oh, but now in some trouble. It's going to be a 1-for-1. Syndra damage. Leche will be able to take down Akira, and a hook lands! And Raiden will get one as well. It's a huge winning, big winning fight. Huge, big win, awesome fight for BucketJons. 8-0 Misfortune. 5 kill Syndra. And they'll get an early inhib as well. This inhib is okay, but it's probably pretty questionable. I think most people would argue that that was a bad inhib. But it probably doesn't matter. They're ahead of Nuff. I just think they could have played to scale. I mean, they have a Syndra. Unless Syndra's like already fully stacked. 95. I mean, definitely could have played to scale a little bit longer and got that inhib on the next rotation. We'll see how they play it, though. If they take the early Baron, it's fine. If they don't, it's pretty bad. If this game gets stalled out, that inhib could be really bad. We do see Clown in the enemy topside jungle behind Leche. We also see Leche just walking and fighting Akira. A lot of damage. A lot of damage from Leche. This might actually be the solo bolo. One more Q. Akira will be able to get out. Oh, and the flash scatter will miss. Oh, and Clown has that flank. And Leche, using everything to try to get that kill, will inevitably fall here. Assist from the Braum. Akira survives. Leche goes down. And the Munda picks up the kill. Nar is starting to win these fights. Tidai in some trouble. Might have to ult in or ult out. Rock tries to ult in response, but the CC was too long. It did not matter. Oh my clap. Dude, that guy just got stomped on. I'm actually really surprised that Nar can win this. Yeah, Rock just kind of ran Ambessa down, and Ambessa didn't really... Maybe if Ambessa just immediately fought, it was okay, but I think Tidai just kind of like waited too long to turn, and then Rock just wins. Alright, so Clown might be looking for a play on the Gnar, but this is signaling Baron for Min. It looks like we're already on it, BucketJons. No, we're not. I don't know why we're not on Baron. Oh my god. Why are we not starting Baron? What is RMF doing? BucketJons are not playing the game correctly right now, and this could backfire. Instead of just hitting Baron, MF and Sephi, Raiden and Sephi are alone in mid lane. Potential play for Forge to make, but also Leche and Hooktua are alone together in top, which is a potential play like this one here, 3-on-2. They will get the tag on Leche. Clown's gonna run Leche down. Rocket building away. Raiden and Sephi are finally here, so it's not the best play, but they will get the pick on Leche. Now, Bamboo, Helium Bamboo and Clown are in the 2v3, and Kagrin is just too far away. Clown will escape thanks to the Braum shield. But I think if Kagrin is just there earlier, or that play is made quicker, they get the pick on Leche and get out. Fortunately, Forge Esports took too long to make the play, and I think BucketJons are unpunished, realistically. But like, when Baron inhibs down, if supers come in, like, do Baron right now. Please, please hit the Baron. Oh my god. Or hit top turret. I don't care. Do one of them. I'm gonna have a stroke over here. I already am. Alright, so they'll get the top tier 2. That is fine. That is a safer, low-risk play. But for the love of God, do Baron. I think Forge is... What they've been showing me is they've been giving Baron. There's been a pink ward on Baron the entire time. Forge Esports has no wards on Baron. And BucketJons should know this, because they've been over here living in the top side, clearing all that vision for so long. And Rock has been alone in bot lane, brawling pressure. Mundo is on Rock right now, and they're still not on Baron. A nice dodge from Rock. Dodging the lock ultimate and then throwing them away. But Leche playing a dangerous game, 1v1 against Tidai. Gonna flash Rocket Belt away and ult, but Tidai will easily win that one. Once again, I'm not sure why Leche is so far up in the side lane. And I'm starting to think that just because of the way BucketJons is playing, Forge Esports might win this one. Baron still sits on the map. Leche just keeps dying. If it weren't for Raiden and Rock being seemingly so strong, playing so well. I could see BucketJons throwing this game. Metashift sounds angry. He's getting mean. No way! Is Forge going to get the Baron? Oh my god, it was sitting here the whole time. There's a pink ward on it. Do they get it? Do they get it? Oh my god, they're not hitting it. They're also not going to hit it. Oh my god. And BucketJons isn't even moving. That was a free Baron. It would have been comedic and ironic if that Baron went over to Forge Esports, but they're not going to pull the trigger. They don't even hit it. Look at how much time they had. Rock is finally walking over to check. I know they may have showed on top wave, but my god. Scatter the Weak lands, it helps get the Xayah ulti out. Bullet time will be blocked by Bromchill, but a hook lands on T-Die, and Flay pulls him back in. The BucketJons are able to get the kill. Are they able to end here? That pick is pretty big, and they seem to be threatening Scatter the Weak with the hooks. Leche will land a stun on Akira, but he's too far away. And now the entire team is going to move out of mid after retaking that in him. Again, they were up a lot of gold, but a lot of XP from farming this open in him has been gifted over to Forge. All the gold is on Misfortune. Everyone else is about even. Baron has been started. They're doing Baron now on a ward. And Forge Esports should be contesting this. But they don't have their Mbessa. And they're going to give that Baron away for free. The BucketJons will finally get the Baron. I am honestly impressed on how terrified both of these teams were at doing Baron. And then finally BucketJons does Baron on a ward. With Mbessa TP up in like 2 seconds, and the rest of the team was able to walk in and contest that, but they just didn't. They just didn't contest it. This might be the review of the week. It's hard to review that because like I could tell you guys like, oh, this is when you would do Baron, and someone could just say, nah, that's a bad Baron. And I would just be like, okay. Like, I don't really know how to explain it to you. Like, you're gonna probably argue that, well, they could get there in time. Alright, man, sure. But also your team's up 10k gold, you can win the fight. And also, if it's Forge Esports doing the Baron while they're on Dragon, like, it's a flip, sort of, but they had plenty of time to take that Baron. So BucketJons are doing a great job here with the Baron to pressure bot side. Sephi in some trouble, but Leche over the wall doing so much damage. And Rock's gonna go in, throw Helium back, and here could be a big MF ult. It's gonna be immediately interrupted by T-Die, but a lot of damage already got out, and it looks great for BucketJons. His Clown in the front line will go down, and Raiden, it's just so big. Akira looking for a reset, looking for a play. It's just gonna be a penta! It's a penta kill for Raiden on the Misfortune. He will die, but it's so worth it. 15-1 Misfortune gameplay from Raiden Cannoli. And we're going to a game 3. BucketJons Harem wins it here. Game number 2. I wonder who did the most damage. No surprise there. It was Raiden on the Misfortune. And, I mean, can you really give all the props to the MF? Of course, really good positioning, great ultis. Well played by Raiden. But Sephi on the Thresh was great. Great pick and draft. Great performance. Even the Lee Sin wasn't that bad. And, yeah, I mean, like, we have Syndra too, so maybe Syndra's broken. Syndra did a lot of damage that game. A lot more damage. Almost as much as MF, with only 5 kills and 2 items. Well, I guess Azonia's too, so 3 items. The Gnar was impressive too because I think that Ambessa had like a 2-0 lead, and Rock was still able to just come back from that and pretty much just prove that like they were still winning that lane even though it looked like they were losing. Um, Not as big of a stomp that Forge had in game one, but a pretty good performance and pretty big stomp from BucketJons. Um I think that Forge had like better macro, but in game two they were just like kind of gapped almost everywhere. So made it look a little less clean. I wonder what happens if they take that Baron instead of letting it sit there. Um, that's kind of yeah, that's kind of my biggest wonder. If Forge is able to get that Baron, could they turn it? Could they have turned it around? But yeah, I mean a pentakill. Let's go. That's huge. Well played, Raiden. Well played, BucketJons. Way to take it to a game number 3. My money is not on either team. I think we had 2 stomps, and we're gonna get a very close game here, depending on how draft goes. I'm excited to see what we have left after 2 games of Fearless. We'll be back with that draft shortly. There. Will be banned. Udyr, Nafiri, and Yone are the bans from BucketJons, and they have B1. What is their B1 here? Caitlyn is up. Vayne, Vlad, and Rise all banned. Is it just gonna be a B1 mid again? Oh, it's gonna be a B1 Jarvan. Jarvan for Hook Tua. Will Forge counter with Poppy? Will they counter with something else? I think they definitely don't want to put Clown on a tank again. Clown has been super dominant on things like Fury, Nocturne. Mundo pick. Although Mundo wasn't really the issue, but was unable to do what Nocturne and Fury were able to do for Forge in past games. Vagar locked in for either Akira or Kagrin. And Wukong counter instead of Poppy. I like the Wukong counter pick into Jarvan as well. I think that's pretty solid. I don't have my chat up. Chat, where are we at? I'm a large fan of Little Caesars in Espanol. BJH did not lose game 1. What? They did lose game 1. Wait, I didn't update the score. Oops. 1-1. I did not update. My bad. My fault. We are tied up 1-1. We're going into game 3. Senna Leona. Pickups for Raiden and Steffi. I like stealing Senna away if Vanguard had the potential to pick it, because Senna and Vagar together on the same team is like, if the game goes late, Senna Vagar wins. There's no way you're outscaling that unless you start drafting some big scaling champions for yourselves. So instead of playing against that scaling, do what they did. Aurelia picked up probably for Akira. But I think it's actually Kagrin on the Vagar bot lane and Aurelia mid for Akira. Which I'm wondering what Leche is going to play into it. And if it's not banned, I'm going to see what Vanguard bans next, but I know what they should ban. Oh, they don't know it's Aurelia mid. They're banning Ari. Maybe it isn't Aurelia. Pretty sure it is, though. Kali, Aurelia, Silas. Oh, we didn't play Silas. We played Locke. It seems like an Akira champ. That's why I think it's in it. And Malphite would be a ban. I think Leche should play Beck into the Aurelia. I think that's kind of free. Aurelia just gets 1. There's also some other champs you could play, but I think Vex could be really good into Wukong Aurelia. I don't know if anyone needs to know how to play Vex either. You just that champ's really easy. Not quite the scaling mid. Playing a scaling mid into Aurelia sounds really wrong. Even playing like off-screen like Xerath or something, it's not really good into Wukong Aurelia. So they're gonna blind, or not blind, they're gonna counterpick support here. They're gonna take Rakan into Leona Senna. We'll see what the counterpick is. They have to start thinking like, oh, they didn't pick ADC, so they're R5ing top here, meaning that Aurelia is mid and Vagar's bot lane, but do they know? How could they know? Do they know? Azir into Aurelia. Oh, I don't know about that one, bro. It's not terrible, but like you gotta play pretty safe for those early levels. Azir has no damage to like contest Aurelia on the wave, which means you have to play super safe. But once you're level 6, if Aurelia dashes on you, you throw her away, and that's really good. Tom Kench blind pick for top. I guess we'll find out where these champions are going. With the R5, Forge Esports, do you want to put Aurelia into Tom Kench or Azir? You want to take an ADC? Put Vanguard mid. Also, Veigar's pretty good into Azir as well. Vanguard Cage is pretty rough for Azir. Silas. So it will be Aurelia top, Silas mid, and Veigar bot lane. Interesting. Which is also rough for Azir. I think Azir really struggles this game. And we'll see if we'll see if Leche can pull it off. I'm not very confident in an Azir pick here. How does Azir play into all that dive? I mean, it's 4 melees diving onto the backline. Azir ult is great for that, but that shuffle is going to get interrupted. There's Vanguard Cage if Azir tries to go in. These melees are so mobile. Azir's a lot better against like immobile melees because you could just beat them with your soldiers. Also, will we be going PTA Azir? That's really important. PTA Azir is really good now. Also, Azir can proc Static Shiv on soldiers. I think he used to be able to do that. Maybe he could. Actually, I think he could do that. But it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool that you can proc Static Shiv on. It's not good. It's not good at all. But it's pretty cool. Anyway. I'm going to flip over to client-side draft. Finish just going to take a little break. See you guys on the Rift. 5 minutes or so. Game number 3.
Let me see you get down.
We are here, game number 3. BucketJons still on blue side versus Forge Esports on red side.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
We had a pentakill last game for Raiden, Cannoli, Misfortune, the ADC for BucketJons.
Minions have spawned.
We're starting off with Clown running in and jumping on Sappy. Gonna get the ward on enemy Raptors. In response, Leche is moving for a ward on the respective Raptors. Both junglers starting bot side, pathing up into the Aurelia match. Leche has a rough game ahead of him. Azir into Silas. Really needs that level 6, right? But the scaling gameplay, I mean, I think J4 can play to get an early kill on Aurelia and slow Aurelia down, and then switch and play for bot lane. But there's also the option of just letting Tahm Kench play the island, and J4 plays with Leona bot side. Looks like we're going to path up. Both junglers are. I also think Veigar is very, very susceptible to Leona J4 ganks. He can put up the wall, but they're still very gankable down here in bot lane. Leona has plenty of CC and set up for Jarvan with a center root on top. Speaking of, Leona level 2 and a flash away from Kaghan already. Wukong slightly ahead in clear. Gonna be on those Raptors while J4 just now finished Raptors. Both junglers on the ward, so they see them. Takes slightly longer to clear red side, so I'm not sure if Hook 2 is actually behind or if it's just red side versus blue side clear. Clown finishing up red, though, and look, Tua hasn't even started the blue buff. I would think J4's clear is actually faster than Wukong, so I'm surprised. Maybe it isn't. Also depends on the sequence of camps. Both junglers finishing up their last camp right now. Second smite was used by Hook Tua. Clown gonna walk over Lights and a ward topside. Oh wait, that's actually warded by Aurelia. He dies ward. Looks like Clown will get top scuttle, and Hook 2 is gonna start making their moves towards bot. Scuttle gonna path through mid. Meanwhile, a big trade here. Raiden's feeling it. Oh, and an engage lands from Sephi, gets out of turret range. Raiden's gonna put some damage on top, layer some damage on top. Hagen's pretty much out of mana there on the Vagar, and Raiden's up quite a bit of CS. Hook 2 had never got to bot scuttle and is going to recall, forfeiting bot scuttle completely. This is a press the attack Azir. Love to see it. Leche is doing a great job staying alive and securing CS in this lane. Even getting some poke on the Sylas. I'm not sure why Akira went D-shield. I feel like I would just be playing like electrocute, aggressive Sylas into the Azir. T-Die might be going for the all-in on Rock. Rock, do you win this? No, gonna have to flash away. T-Die is gonna follow, and that's first blood for T-Die in the top lane. Leche almost killing Akira mid. Gonna get ganked by Clown, gonna have to flash away. Both Clown and Leche flash there. Akira still has flash. Look to it, maybe looking on Akira, who's kind of overstaying. But again, Sylas has flash. It's going to be a flash for a flash in mid lane off screen because we're watching bot lane. Thank you, direct camera. But Akira and Hooktua also flash. It's no flashes for the entire top side of the map. But besides Kagran, everyone down here has flash. Sephi looking for the Zenith Blade, not going to find it. I like the aggressive gameplay from the Leona. I think it makes sense. So Kira hijacking Emperor's Divide, but unable to do the full combo there. Leche is able to shuffle away. Is it called Shifting Sand? Just call it Shuffle. Bro. It is called Shifting Sand. But it's called Arise and Shifting Sands. Oh, and there it is. The hijacked Azir ult. And in response, Leche is going to have to use that Emperor's Divide as well and throw Sylas away. It's going to be on cooldown for 2 minutes, which I think is punishable. It's very punishable. Oh, but it's going to be Helium Bamboo, face checking. Sephi and Raiden here. Gonna survive just barely. Ignite was ticking, but the damage wasn't quite there. Gonna be flash from Helium Bamboo. And now in trouble. Kagran gonna get rooted up. They're both rooted up, but Raiden does not have the mana. Going to Baby Cage. Will force flash out of Sephi as well. I mean, overall great aggression from BucketJons bot lane, but they didn't really get anything. And the gold advantage is in the hands of Forge Esports as they look for the first dragon. It's an ocean break. Hey, drink some water. T-Die going for the all-in. Rock's able to use that Abyssal Voyage out. Tua and Leche looking on Akira here. Akira's gonna get hit by the E Q combo, flag and drag from J4. Cataclysm and the Senna ultimate, Dawning Shadow from downtown will actually give that kill over to Raiden, who just got a pentakill last game. And we're gonna get our first kill on BucketJons going to this ADC. Will it carry it again? Late game Senna can definitely carry this one, but gonna get baby caged up. The Rakan knock up will miss the grand entrance. Will it not land? Uh-oh. T-Die showing the aggression again onto the Tom Kench. Rock running away. Bramble start for the TK, which is good. But just losing all these trades. Gonna get stunned up here. This might be death. Yes, it will be. T-Die. Another solo kill in the top lane. And that'll push Hook 2 away from the Grubs, meaning both first objectives are gonna go over to Forge Esports. And now dodging that Leona engage, Helium Bamboo is gonna turn it around. Kagran trying to DPS on top. They're not able to kill Sephi, but Sephi is super low. And the bot lane for BucketJons might have to back off here. They're not going to. They're gonna stick around and play it for a little bit. Crash one more wave. I think Sephi wants to look for another engage. Definitely does. I want to see how this goes. A lot of health and mana for that Vagar and the Rakan. I don't know if it's gonna work out. Nice poke from Raiden there. Also, at some point, you have to respect that Wukong could be bot side. Helium gonna get rooted up from the Senna W. He takes a 2 to the face. A lot of damage. Here comes mid lane play. Akira can use that Emperor's Divide to dodge that engage from Hook 2, but now it's Clown who could be in some trouble. Cataclysm can be used on Clown. Cyclone to try to stay alive from downtown. Dawning Shadow will help set up the kill. Leche picks up the kill on Clown. And the Azir gameplay is good. Leche is doing really well. Up a lot of CS. Hasn't died yet. Very healthy in mid. Has a red buff. 1 kill, 1 assist, and both carries for BucketJons are feeling good. The only losing side of BucketJons right now is top. But we saw what 0-2 Rock did last game. We'll see if he can do it again. Okay, Akira misses the chains and gonna get severely punished by Leche there with a return fire. With just a blasting wand and an amplifying tome, press the attack Azir is doing a lot of damage. And we'll do a lot more with Gnasher's Tooth and Rabadon's. Another chains miss. This time Leche doesn't really have the mana to trade back. He's probably going to take the recall here. Has teleport, has a 20 CS lead. Kira will stop the base from Leche, convincing him to stay. You hate to see it because you know this is bad. You know this is potential death for Leche overstaying because the back was stopped. Just needed to not be in that position in the first place, but will not be punished. Gonna get the wave in, or get the wave cleared and step back a little further this time for the recall. 2-2, BucketJons. Small gold lead. But they're down 1 dragon and they're down the Grubs. We'll see if they play for this next dragon. But right now, Hook 2 is going to show up in top lane. I don't know. Is this Aurelia 2 fed? Can she 1v2? Here comes the Cataclysm from J4. And T-Die is just going to start hitting J4. Looks like T-Die lost the dash and is going to be unable to win that. But they go 1 for 1, which isn't even that bad. T-Die. 3 kills now. Blade of the Ruined King finished for Aurelia. And this dragon is just sitting here and might be uncontested. Forge Esports might go up 3-0 on major objectives. Leche just tanking the Silas damage, trading back. Raiden and Sephi are going to try to stall out this dragon. The Dawning Shadow and Helium taking a lot of damage. Sephi's still alive. The Leona is so tanky. Raiden's doing a lot of damage. Leche's on the way. A flash. A Zir wall. Leche's able to get the kill, but now Akira shows up. Leche dodges the chains. And Clown will survive. The clone will die, but Clown will survive. Raiden backing away. Can they still play this? Hook to it shows up. Who's here? Looking for it. Goes on the clone. Cataclysm stole by Silas the hijack. But now Hook Tua able to look for the kill. Akira's gonna probably go down here. Kill picked up by Hook Tua. Clown very low. Needs to run away. And they will be able to contest that dragon. Hook Tua will secure this for BucketJons. And even before that, I think BucketJons were on top. They're up 1,000 gold. And they deny the dragon. Very, very very even game. It's not back and forth. BucketJons are slowly increasing their lead, but it's a very, very even game. And Hook Tua was able to somewhat do the impossible by showing up top and shutting down the Aurelia and also securing that dragon that was spawning at the exact same time on the opposite side of the map. Oh, I think Jack of all trades got hit on this patch. I'm not sure what they did, but what's it called? D-Helm, Static Shiv, Senna with Jack of all trades change might have been good. I'll have to look it up. I'm gonna look it up. Yeah, Jack of all trades was adjusted. I'm not wrong on that. But what about it? Oh, it actually got nerfed. What? Didn't say it got nerfed. Adaptive force at 5 and 10 at breakpoint. Interesting. You have an engage here on Rock. It's going to be 1v2 against the Aurelia Wukong, and Clown will pick up that kill. Tank Top will take Rock to the grave, to the gray screen grave. And a solo kill mid for Leche. Akira goes in, and Nasher's Tooth Azir just commits to it and finishes him off with Emperor's Divine. Now Hook Tua showing up in top lane, putting Clown in the Cataclysm. Gonna flash to run him down, and Clown used all of his abilities on the tower. The tower will get finished by T-Die, but that will be a kill picked up for Hook Tua. Meanwhile, Sephi going in, the Ignite on Kagran, the shields from Rakan, but it's not enough to keep him alive. The kill will go to Sephi as the Ignite ticks, taking Kagran down. And in response, BucketJons fires backs. They may have lost their top laner, they may have lost their top turret, but they get the solo kill mid, and they get the kill in bot lane 2v2 as well. Also, Hook Tua did get the Avenge kill on Clown, so maybe they got top turret, but Forge Esports did drop a lot of gold there to kills. Now Rock gets to kind of chill back here safely. I like that Rock is holding holding the wave there instead of pushing it out. Obviously, pushing it out is super dangerous, so it's a good thing to freeze that wave there as best he can. Akira 03 on Silas looking for something, probably starting to get bored. Maybe there's a play on the Senna, but it looks like there won't be. Raiden gonna back off and recall. Oh, I see what the change to Jack of all trades is. It breakpoints at 8, but you get less. That's all. So instead of needing 10 different stat lines, you only need 8. But you get less adaptive force. So it actually did get better. But you need less, you don't even need as many things for it. So it's not a nerf. I thought it got nerfed. I got nerfed. Hook to it looking mid. Not gonna find anything, and here comes the counterplay. A big engage from Helium Bamboo. Leche with a good Emperor's Divide to kind of seal the deal, and Cataclysm to try to get Leche out, but the chains land. Akira following up on Leche. Leche able to shuffle away to increase that gap, and Leche will survive. Actually, very well played from both Hook Tua and Leche to get Leche out. And Leche surviving there is just so good because so much was used. That was Flash ulti from T-Dye, it was ulti from Cloud, and the hijacked ultimate from Akira as well. So, with all of those cooldowns being down right before this dragon, I think they might be able to contest. They still have Dawning Shadow, they have Solar Flare, they have Teleport from Rock, and Hook to It is spawning right now. They're a little slow. I would love to see them contest this. Here they come. The dragon may fall. Solar Flare is pretty big. Some damage from Azir. Leche can't fully commit. No Emperor's Divide. I think Tahm Kench and Senna were just way too late. If it's 4v5, just to buy time for Jarvan to get there, BucketJons, I think they hard win that fight, and they could maybe even get the dragon, but the dragon wasn't even important. It was about punishing Forge Esports for the dragon. And since they were unable to do so, Forge goes up 2 dragons to 1, and the gold is kind of evening out. Just bad news for BucketJons. Rock looking for a play. Abyssal Voyage over the wall. Here comes a shuffle. It's going to be used on the clone. And now Helium Bamboo coming around the corner. The engage on Leche. Leche's going to get picked off. Kill secured by Clown. And Akira going back in, lands the chains. Helium Bamboo trying to follow up, but Rock picking up some kills, just being a massive tank on the Tahm Kench. T-Dye shows up, and BucketJons are winning the fight. A double 4 Hook Tua. Big Cataclysm. T-Dye still going, running rampant. Raiden in some trouble. Sephi in some trouble, but Rock and Hook Tua leading the pack in the front line. Should be able to get T-Dye. Rock saving with the Devour. Sephi lives, and Clown, the last man standing, gets a complete ace. Free 20-minute ace for BucketJons. Insane spacing by Raiden, and just bruiser tank the damage from Tua and Rock in the front line. Yeah, Forge Esports got the pick on Leche, almost got the pick on Raiden, and they even almost killed Sephi, but they could not do anything to J4 Tahm Kench. Jarvan Tahm Kench kept healing, had shields. They barely took any damage, and it was a complete ace in favor of BucketJons. Like, can't talk. I'm like, got like old woman smoker voice right now, it feels like. Didn't drink enough water. Unfortunate. Now BucketJons have a pretty decisive lead. Old woman smoker here, that's offensive. I'm sorry. I didn't say it was a bad thing. Maybe I did. Yeah, all 3 outer turrets secured for BucketJons. And we'll see, maybe this time they'll actually do the Baron. Now, we don't want to flip Baron, but if Clown gets pulled to bot lane, the look on Tahm Kench, they definitely do this Baron. They're standing on a ward right now. Top lane also should be pushed out for BucketJons. Rock looking for the 1v1, and here comes Clown. Clown, you cannot make this play because BucketJons could do the Baron. BucketJons, you need to do the Baron. Clown is still going forward. Clown is diving Rock, double Cyclone. They're going to kill the Tahm Kench. Maybe. Oh my god. They just barely kill TK, and T-Dye almost goes down the turret, but there it is, the Baron. Azir takes Baron so fast. It's not a good trade for Forge Esports. I feel like there was no reason to make that play. on Tahm Kench, and there were plenty of reasons to contest the Baron threat. But finally, thank you, BucketJons. You did it right. Enemy jungler shows bot. Take that Baron. Now it's time to take the inhibs and probably want to group. I feel like Azir should not push past river alone. I think they should just group up on mid. There's really not that strong of wave clear. It's just Veigar. And Veigar's pretty short range, so maybe Tahm Kench in a side lane while Veigar clears. Sephi's gonna get picked right before the push. Put a 3-man solar flare. Can it do anything? No, it's gonna be shut down. Picked up by T-Die with that pick on Sephi.
Support for the cause.
Next dragon spawning in 3 seconds. Leona's down, but Baron is up. BucketJons could give this dragon and just push mid hard for the inhib. I would run for the inhib. I wouldn't even fight this dragon. Use your Baron, give the dragon, who cares? It's risk, but it's also reward, and they are doing just that, so this is good. BucketJons is not going to waste their time with a 4v5 fight. They're going to take tier 2 mid and maybe backtrack into Sephi to play the fight, but Helium Bamboo is coming in on Rock. Helium Bamboo goes in, but he's so far away from his teammates. Azir Tower and a nice shuffle from Leche. Leche, absolutely stellar decisions and performance here so far. Getting engaged on by Clown, but gonna get slowed by the soldiers. Press the attack will proc, and Leche, oh my god, the Azir, it's amazing. The tower, the shuffle, the, yeah, the tower and the ulti were so good. And that's 4 members down and a Baron push. That might actually just be a game. Did BucketJons win it here? Wait, we're running away! Oh, they don't have their 80 carry. And Leche's kind of low. Alright, it wasn't game anyway, right? Like 10 seconds to take both Nexus turrets and end. I don't think it's actually happening because Akira just needs to go on Azir to slow it down. So, okay, that was the right choice to back off, but very big plays from BucketJons, specifically from Leche. I thought Azir gameplay there was absolutely stellar. Amazing. Actually, the Azir gameplay has been pretty phenomenal all game. It ended up being a very good pick here. The ultis have been great, the escapes have been good, the trading and damage and laning phase was really good. The trading and damage right now is really good. I like the Rylai's pickup because they do have a lot of burst. So having that extra HP plus the slowing because they're so mobile, I think is really nice. And the Zhonya's a necessity. Also, BucketJons, they have 4 people down here for bot turret. Hooktua maybe wasting a little time going for the scuttle, but they can definitely just push bot here, threaten bot inhib as well, with Rock off to the side, keeping the mid lane push, and threatening a dive. Veigar's going to match the super waves. They have no one to stop this siege. They are all melee. This tier 2 will go down. Oh my god, and Leche going really far forward, not going to pull the trigger on the ulti. Once again, Veigar's not here, and they're all melees. Nobody can stop this siege. Definitely a missing part of the comp that Forge Esports has. They just cannot contest the siege. And with that second Baron picked up, Inhib picked up, Baron will seal the deal. BucketJons could just back it up, reset, play Baron. They could even look for a play here. They could just take a fight. They are strong enough to win it. And if they lose, they don't lose any major objectives. But if they wanted to take a fight here, they could. And play for end. Leche's looking on Akira. Gonna have no shuffle. Akira will flash away from the Azir. And now it starts to get a little dangerous because if BucketJons doesn't reset here and go play Baron, if for some reason they lost a fight or got picked, they could potentially lose both Baron and Dragon, which right now. Rock is potentially getting picked. And that's not great, but he will respawn with teleport for Baron. It's just the Baron setup now is a 4v5. I think the inhib just bail BucketJons out anyway. There's no way all 5 members of Forge Esports can commit to contest this Baron right now. Almost 4 items on the Senna. Raiden Cannoli has 91 stacks as well. Hagrid with 228 stacks. Pretty good. I think the Vagar, how much AP? Only 575 AP. Rabadon's not finished yet. Once the Rabadon's is finished, the Vagar will have about... so far away from that, but we'll have about 1,000 ability power. Not enough time for BucketJons to play for Dragon and Baron, but they will play for the pick on Clown. Rooted up by the Senna. A big Cataclysm on 2. Tidai and Helium Bamboo are getting caught. Tidai goes down. It's a 3-0 team fight, and that should be game as Sephi's going to flash on Kagrin. And there's the flip with the EQ combo from Jarvan. Leche grabbing the wave. It's a 4-0 fight, and BucketJons, who looked terrible in Game 1, will win back-to-back here in Games 2 and 3, and they will win the series, making them 2-0 and the #1 team in Platinum after Week 2. They might just be a bunch of Game 1 Andes. Because, I mean, that Game 1 was kind of atrocious. It was kind of bad. Might be a bunch of Game 1 Andes. I'm pretty sure they lost Game 1 last week. They lost Game 1 to Los Burritos. Yeah, I mean, when you watch this back, you're gonna see me complimenting Leche for his performance. Once again, Rock gets kind of thrashed in lane, but then shows up when it counts later on. It's almost like top lane does not matter. Unfortunately for Tidai, the Federalia was not able to do anything. The J4 pick was very good, and honestly, a solid performance from Raiden and Sephi. Probably the most consistent and dominant performance was the bot lane for BucketJons. So I would definitely rate both of these supports as 2 of the top supports in the division right now, just from what I've been watching. But Raiden definitely looked really good tonight. Yeah, I'm not sure if Akira is like a one trick or what, but so good on the Akali, and struggled a little bit more on the Lock and the Silas. I think a little bit more time on those champions and not just Akali would help Akira a lot. And maybe adding some control mages as well. You can't always just default to some of those like melee assassins. Right in this comp here, what this team comp really needed if they were going to have double AP mid and bot was just another mage. Because when it came down to the siege from BucketJons, I mean, they had no wave clear. They had no way of contesting siege because they had Silas mid. And Silas mid and Aurelia top, right? Having both was just kind of a big blunder in draft. It forced them to take bad fights that they didn't want to take, and that's how they lost. But they also lost because BucketJons just popped off. Great performances. All right, overall fun series. I had a good time. Casting wasn't my best, but you know, there was a pentakill for Raiden in Game 2. That was pretty cool. Guys, I'm gonna say have a good night, and I will see you in the next Plat stream. And stay tuned for any weekly content I put out. Yeah. Cool. On Metashift League. Have a good night.